you can do this with your diode. What? I want you to feel like you can do anything. Okay guys, let me show you what I made. Look how big it is. I made this on a diode laser using 12 by 12 inch pieces of wood. What's the 411 on this? Let's talk about it. Should I hold it the whole time? Yeah, why not? It's a good workout. When I got the Glowforge Aura, this was the first project I wanted to make. Anytime I scaled the project larger than like 7 inches, is this distracting? I feel like it's distracting. Let's talk about it. Anytime I scaled the project bigger than like 7 or 8 inches, the Glowforge Aura would kind of like skip around and have issues. But I have the M1, the Xtool M1, which is no longer available. They have like newer machines. So I did this on the old machine. So if you still have the M1, this worked so good. So this video is going to be a two-parter, one for how to design these files. In this video, we are going to assemble, and I'm going to give you tips on how I assembled mine and then how I painted mine. The design portion of this is the harder portion. If you want to design, go watch. If you don't want to design, I actually created a 24 bundle year-round sayings. They're pre-sliced, ready to go. So I will add a link to wood that I use, that I get on Amazon. All 24 are available to my members. Also, I will have that bundle available to purchase on auntietay.com. If you're like, I don't want to be a member, I just want this 24 bundle. And then leave me in the comments down below if you want me to slice up more words or designs. Let me know, because if this is something someone is going to do, I want to make sure that there are files for you guys so you can jump in and start doing it. And I will say, did this make me want a CO2 laser? Kind of. I actually enjoyed the fact that I did not have to go get a massive piece of wood to do this. I kept thinking, like, would I have been able to do it last minute if she had asked me and I had a CO2 laser? I don't think I would have. I'd be left with a massive piece of wood scrap, which now I'm just left with 11 pieces of wood scraps that I can keep in my stash and cut smaller projects out of. It only used portions of those, so I can still go in and cut small projects, ornaments, earrings, all the things with the leftover pieces. I want you to feel like you can do anything. You know what I mean? And you can. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and through prayer, right? So we are going to assemble this bad boy together. Let's do it. How much did this cost? Probably under $15 to do with the materials. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by looking at my file, and it looks like I'm going to need 11 pieces of wood. So I'm just gonna make sure that I have that on hand and get them ready to go. Then we're going to set up our machine. So I am going to cut everything on the triangular prisms. I'm using my Xtool M1. It is a 10-watt laser, which is one of the smallest lasers you can get. So if I can do it, you can do it. Just gonna connect. This actually took me the longest to learn how to do this, but it's right there in the settings of the machine on the right. I also need to update my machine, but I will do that in 3 days. So I'm going to load my wood every time before I set up the actual design on the computer. I'm just placing this in as centered as possible, and then it will show up as soon as the camera focuses. This happens pretty quickly. And then I auto measure and I select the basswood. But after playing with basswood a lot, I actually changed the settings a little bit. I'll show you that in a second. So we're going to drag in all the elements. You can drag over all of them and pull them all in at once, or you can do them one at a time, like what I just did. Then I'm going to drag over everything. Right now I'm just doing the top layer so I don't get confused. Drag over everything and set it to cut. And then I just want to make sure that they all fit on the board, which I did design them so that they do. I did notice I needed to move my board up physically in the machine every single time, so just kind of put it higher. I have it venting outside, but the cut of wood smells so good, so I love that. So this was with the basswood setting, and I was able to push them out, but I did have to file the back off a little bit. So I changed my settings to 100 power and 4 speed. And you could even get away with probably doing 3 speed. So then I puzzle pieced that together, and then I realized I probably should puzzle piece it together backwards because I'm going to need to start gluing the back together. And this was the part that took the longest. So if you can have the design pulled up some way to be able to look at it, I'll try to make a guide for you guys, but it really didn't take that long. There were just a couple pieces that I had to figure out, and that's just because this one is 4 feet. If you're doing a 3-foot design, then you shouldn't have to worry about it. So I had a bunch of these large popsicle sticks, and I figured, hey, they are wood, so instead of cutting out my own pieces to brace this with, I just figured I would use popsicle sticks. I'm also using hot glue. I'm using the cordless hot glue gun by Romek that we had during CraftyCon. I have these available in my store. They come with a mix of rhinestones to match the color, so you can rhinestone them yourself. But these are literally so great because here I am working on a huge project and I don't have a cord getting in my way. And then they also have this like auto flow. You'll see they just keep going and going until the stick runs out. But I am bracing every part. Kind of had to use a little bit of engineering here. I just wanted to make sure every weak point would be secure or as secure as possible. So this might look different for each design. But look at how this is in real time. This is not sped up. These glue guns are insanely awesome. Okay, so I just braced all the pieces, made sure there were no real weak points, and then I flipped it over, which you'll see all those seams. We are going to cover those up with the second layer. So just go ahead and cut the second layer just like you did the first layer, and then you'll see that the seams overlap, so it hides a lot of those different seams, which if it looks bad, don't worry, we're going to paint this anyways. So this part's actually easier because now you have a guide to do it, and you just have to kind of match every piece up, and it's actually really fun. It's kind of like doing a puzzle. And then we're just gonna go in and secure everything down. Like I said, you could use wood glue and clamps to make this more secure. I really did want to just test out hot glue to see how well this would hold up. I knew this was only going to go on a sign at our church for a couple weeks, so I know that it doesn't have to be super sturdy, but honestly, I took this outside for the final shots and had to run back home because the mailman came, and I didn't want him to see me outside with a sign, and I had to put my dog away. Look at this hot glue gun though. It's so good. Anyways, all that to say, I ran up our hill holding this and it stayed pretty sturdy. So just using hot glue. There are different hot glue gun and sticks out there, or glue sticks that are for like wood glue too. Now I'm going to just paint it. I'm using, I was asked to do it in black, but I made an executive decision, and also this made it the decision easier because I couldn't open the jar. So I went for espresso, which honestly I think is fancier, and I just like it better for this look. And then I started painting it, and that's all it took. I had to paint all the like edges and stuff too, which I did during our business member Zoom, so it flew by. I didn't even remember doing it. And then I just went in and made sure there were any pieces not fully adhered. I stuck the, this hot glue gun has like the smallest little tip nozzle, so it works super good. And then I noticed the middle needed a little bit more bracing, so I just braced that. Even though there wasn't a seam, it did help so that it wasn't super flexible anymore. And that is all she wrote. I am obsessed with this project, so obsessed that I made an entire file with a ton more because I have so many ideas. Also, paint it better than I did so it looks better. That's it. I love you guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.